And we're on.
Hey, welcome to a very special Sports Unfolded. We're going to call these sports flashes. We're going to try to do something a little different, any major topic that may have just recently happened and kind of cover it. So we're going over the NHL trade deadline and the recap of some of the moves that were made and who improved the most and what teams really didn't impress. So, Ron, as my hockey guy, obviously I'm turning to you for the majority of this. But as we go through, you let us know who you felt did the best or not. We can start off with the Canadians. They picked up Eric Gustafsson, Merrill.
Yes.
And also Merrill.
Yep.
Anthony.
John Merrill, a defenseman. Both defensemen. And not too long ago, I believe it was March 26th, they picked up Stahl, too. So that you can throw that one on top of there. And, with Gustafsson and Stahl, that's pretty good. That's a good trade deadline capture. And Merrill, of course, helps. Right.
Does this
the
help them
only
improve?
Problem with, they improved a lot, but I mean, it's not going to get them with a hump, but they could do some damage on the way out. Shoring up the defense was really vital for Montreal because, they have some good talent up front, but their defense was pretty lacking. And basically, they leave Carey Price basically to fend for himself. So I think getting two defensemen was vital for that team to even contend. And, Stahl was the cherry on top for them. And like I said, they can do some damage on the way, through, but I still don't think it's enough because I just don't think they have the experience up front.
How about the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Good pickups.
Currently first in the
Tampa
Central.
Bay,
Savard, they picked up Savard and Clausen.
Yeah. And also Morand also in there. They don't have many holes. So, this is
they're one of the top teams in the league. So, definitely just any improvement they can make obviously helps continue.
Exactly.
Their quest for the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. So again, they picked up two defensemen, and that's going to be a trend throughout all these trade deadline moves, especially when they take a look at Boston with all the injuries and that for them, they knew they had to get some defense just in case. And Tampa Bay just went out and got a lot of depth on their defense, and they're looking good right now. They're going to be tough.
How about the Capitals? They're in the first in the East. They picked up is it Ralph and Manta?
Ralph and Manta. I like it, but it was good, but I don't think they went out and did much to help. And like I said, they should have for a defenseman, if not for anything to rest some of their elderly defensemen that are on the team, for the season. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't go grab a defenseman, to be honest with you.
So Toronto
a great team
made a lot of, very. Toronto made a bunch of moves. They're first in the North currently. Any of the moves stand out to you? They got Hutton, Richard, Fonego, and
David Riddick, the goaltender.
Yeah, that was an interesting pickup. Right.
Well, Anderson has been injured, and they're not sure that he's even going to be back. So they actually picked up two goaltenders. They picked up I'm going to butcher his name. It's Vanalainen, but he is clearly going to be like third or fourth on the depth chart. But they wanted to make sure that they got somebody, so they went out and got two goaltenders and hope that one of them catches fire. And if there's a hole on this team, that's going to be it. But Riddick is probably going to be the guy that they're going to count on. So, but they went out and got everybody. It seemed.
Yeah,
They
it looked
had
like that.
Galchenyuk a couple of weeks ago, which was great because now he's on the first line. I mean, that's going to be key. They can roll out 3 lines as well as like Boston and Tampa Bay. So I mean, it's going to be one of those 3 teams. But Nick Foligno is probably the guy that's going to stand out for them the most. Because let's face it, we know Toronto and their woes in the playoffs, especially against Boston. They need a guy like Nick Foligno. He's going to be their grit, and he's going to keep the team in line, basically. And because they're kind of soft in the playoffs, and this is going to help them. This makes them a contender.
So you felt basically there's a move based off of last year's performance.
Yeah, I believe so. They improved a lot, but that goaltending situation, if they don't have Anderson, I don't think they're going anywhere.
Well,
they should have made a trade for like Rask.
Yes. What about the Panthers? They're second in the Central. Picked up Bennett.
I actually like their moves, and I'll tell you, Bennett and Montour they got also. I mean those are 2 solid moves, and they picked up Lucas Carlson and Lucas Wallmark as well, and I actually like Wallmark. I mean he's probably gonna be a 4th liner, but he can contribute, and I think he's gonna be a key to that team as well. But I like Florida in this. They can come back. They can come out and bite somebody, and I wouldn't want it to be Boston.
So let's talk about the Bees. Currently 3rd in the East. We've discussed on our show, several times about some of their struggles. Picked up several players. So Hall, Lazar, Riley. What do you feel how they did in these moves? Which one of these players is going to be the biggest impact?
I think they stole Taylor Hall because let's face it, Bjork was sitting half the time anyway. Like he's got a lot of speed, but he can't hit the net. and a 2nd round draft pick for an MVP from a few years ago, 4 years ago? That was so worth it and so cheap. Like some of these guys that got moved were getting 1st rounders for not even half the player Taylor Hall is. So I don't know what Buffalo is thinking. They could have raked the Bruins over the coals, and they didn't do it. So Buffalo is the big loser in all of this. But Taylor Hall is a huge pickup. I mean, yes, I know he was like, I don't know, like a minus 27 this year, something ridiculous.
Minus 21 currently.
Yeah, so like that's awful.
But I think as I look at some of these players, though, you got to look at the teams they were on and how those teams were performing. So I mean, that's a misleading stat.
Yeah, and you got to kind of blame Taylor Hall to sign there. I mean, you're signing in Buffalo. Like, what did you expect to happen? And he should have just signed with the Bruins in the first place. If he was going to do this, he wanted to come to the Bruins. So why wouldn't you just sign with them? But that's huge. And I'll tell you, Mike Riley played the other night. I don't even know if it was last night. I think it was last night. All these days are blurred together. He actually played pretty well. I actually liked his play. He's going to be a big addition, especially with all these injuries and all these players being out. They got back McAvoy, which was key. Like you're not going anywhere if you don't have McAvoy in the lineup. So, bad enough Carlo, and all those players. I mean, they literally had one starter playing on defense from opening day. It's terrible. Yeah. So
the injury bug definitely has hit them. So
yeah, and they're still in the thick of things, and they got Buffalo like 5 more times.
We'll take that.
Yeah, no kidding.
We'll take that. So, again, if you just joined us, this is Sports Unfolded Sports Flash. Basically, it's just covering a topic that might be important that's currently going on. So we had discussed the NFL NHL trade deadline. I apologize. Just a recap. Ron, great job. Hopefully you enjoyed some of his insight.
Well, there's a couple more things I want to make a note, Eric, before we get out of here.
All right, sounds like a plan. What do you got?
Like the Islanders, I like the
Yep.
Islanders in all this. I mean, let's face it, they've been owning the Bruins. But they picked up Coburn, Kyle Palmieri, and Zajac. You know, Palmieri and Zajac was about a week ago. But Coburn, a defenseman, they picked up, and that was a big pickup because, I mean, like I said, defensemen are, you know, important at this point in the season. And I think they did a good job. The Islanders did a really good job. And like the teams out west, they did basically nothing. You know, it's like, I don't know what they were thinking. There's only like Colorado picked up Soderberg again. And like, that's not going to do anything. It's the champion is coming out of the East because they did almost everything. And the only problem is there's going to be a grind with those teams like Toronto, Washington, you know, and Tampa Bay, and even Florida. I would put those 4 teams right now as my teams that could be in the Final Four, depending on how it turns out, you know, with the matchups and stuff like that. So, but I like those teams.
So
now we can go.
Now we're all set. Well, now, and again, Rocky, Ron, the hockey guy, great job. If you enjoyed what you heard, if you enjoyed his insight, tune in every Friday night for Sports Unfolded. We cover a lot of different topics, not just hockey. Again, this is our sports flash, so we're kind of excited about something to roll out here. But if you join us Friday, we'll cover more of the Bruins. Julian Edelman retirement. That's kind of a big story here in New England. Aaron Donaldson getting in trouble now for the Rams, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, little Masters talk this Friday as well. That was an interesting one.
We're going to be live Friday.
Live Friday, studio audience. And how about that face-off? What do you think? Steph Curry overrated? That's going to be a fun one.
Oh, my God. The face-off looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm not going to say which side I'm on yet.
All right. And then that exciting pick and roll. Top 5 Celtic players of all time. So if you enjoy what you heard tonight with our hockey recap, you know, tune in Friday night, 6 p.m. If you have a chance and you want to join us, reach out to the show. You can definitely be looking for live studio audience. So really excited. Hope the fans out there enjoyed my hockey guy, Ron. Great insight tonight. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you could tune in and join us.
Yeah, we'd probably do this with like the NFL draft maybe and maybe the NBA as well when we go into the playoffs or something. Yeah. So be looking forward to these. Yeah,
definitely. Every time on Rhode Island Broadcasting, Sports Unfolded. Just follow us on social media at Sports Unfolded on Facebook and Twitter. Sports_unfolded. At Instagram. So really excited reaching out. We're trying to several interviews this Friday as well. Interview with Providence Pirates owner, you know, Sir John. So we're really excited about that as well. So tune in this Friday, 6 p.m. Ron,
all right. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.
All right. Take care.